We are back. The 2022 season has officially begun. We are out here at the Las Vegas Challenge on the first event of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're the two hot geese.
Honk. Good to have you guys back here. Thanks for tuning in and watching the round one FPO feature card. We get to watch Kona Panis, Catrina Allen, Jessica Weese, and Missy Gannon attack the first of three courses out here. This is the Infinite Discs course.
Yep, this is the only time we are going to see this course today. This is one of the few events we actually play three different courses.
This is, I would say, probably the middle length of the courses, a lot of long par threes. But we start out with a shorty, 233 feet. You go over this out of bounds bunker, carrying all the way to the basket. It is inside the circle, that out of bounds. And if you go deep, it's no big deal.
Kona, of course, recent switch to dynamic discs. I'm excited to see what she's throwing. She's going Lucid Verdict, which is a nice, stable mid-range. That's definitely the safe play to throw right at it and skip away from the hazard.
Catrina Allen also making a switch to a new sponsor in the 2022 season. She will be throwing DGA plastic all year.
Catrina won this event in 2020, but lost last year. It came down to the last hole by a stroke, so I'm sure she's gunning.
While we see both Kona and Catrina taking that safe play, it does leave them with a death putt coming back towards that out-of-bounds bunker.
Jessica Weese is one of the few, I would say, equally skilled in forehand and backhand, and it's always interesting to see which line she takes. She got third in this event last year, and she won it in 2016. I love seeing everyone's new tournament threads at the start of the season. That's a great shirt.
Missy always wins best shirt competition.
Mm-hmm. She's throwing a titanium buzz here. That looks like a good line, just needs to settle down.
Yeah, she's playing it out wider than the other competitors on the card, but it still leaves her with the circle's edge putt. That out-of-bounds bunker, I would say, comes in to about 15 feet away from the basket on the short side.
Also, if you miss, it plays as hazard, so you have to take it from inside the bunker rather than from where it went in the bunker.
Catrina looks like she's still lining up this putt.
Always. Oh, count it.
What a start to the season.
Our current world champ right there.
With this big circle 2 putt, looking super confident.
She's putting with D-line, steady, beadless putters.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to learn more about the GGA lineup.
I learned a lot when she sent me her disc list. And Kona misses, and it looks like it's rolling into the hazard. I'm not sure. It might have stopped short. Missy with a circle edge putt. She's putting with her Missy Gannon Rubber Blend Challenger SS. I think that's checked up.
You can see there is a little bit of wind out there, but it is thankfully calmer than the practice round days we had. Jess finds the chains nice and soft.
Yeah, floats it in real nice. 2 birdies is good on this hole.
Looks like Kona rolled a lot farther than I could tell from the coverage. Just laying this one up, not trying to do anything crazy. In reality, if she hit the cage there, she could very easily roll backwards into the hazard again.
I really like this hole. It's very nervy. Mm-hmm. You know, we can all birdie it, but a lot of us might strong arm it or get nervous on the putting green. It's very hard to park this shot.
The FPO field with legendary 61 competitors out here. It's unbelievable.
Amazing.
Had about 35% with birdies, 35% with a par, and just about 30% with a bogey or worse. So it turns into a pretty perfect hole.
Hole 2 is a par 3. It's 324, but plays slightly uphill. There is out of bounds on the right side that was added this year. The left is fine. There's OB really deep but hard to find. You're just trying to throw a hyzer, essentially, something that kind of goes around the hill and skips past these bushes and hopefully gives you a look. But it's definitely a pump. Catrina is throwing a pro line torrent.
The OB line is just to the right of the most right point of Catrina's hyzer line. If you do flip your disc, it's really easy to find that out of bounds. It is in your mind the whole time.
It looks like she's safe and will have a putt. This is a Luster Shrike. It's one of Jessica Weese's tour series from last year.
Missy kind of saws it off a little more than you want to.
But at least there's no out of bounds over there.
Definitely.
Should be.
That right to left crosswind is making this hyzer shot a lot more difficult than it would be without the wind, causing the disc to push left immediately out of your hand if you're on the right angle.
This is a Royal Grace from Kona. It's a Latitude 64 disc. The Royal line is a great feeling plastic, and she looked like she smashed it.
Yeah, it looks like it got over the hill. Missy with a little floaty approach.
Ooh. Tickled the chains, huh? Yeah, let's see that one more time.
GK replay. We already have two, and we're on hole 2. Psh. Psh. Psh.
Oh my God. No. It was so close, those dang nubs. That was a Crystal Flex Fierce. So close for the throw-in.
Just from the top of the hill, having to go over the bushes, still gives it a nice bid and lands softly.
Catrina outdrove the pin, of course, and she's coming back at it from about 25 uphill. Oh, man.
What a start. Back-to-back birdies. There was only 5 birdies on the day today out of our 60 competitors. This one is not an easy one to get. I would not call this a gimme by any means.
No. There's definitely going to be a lot of par 3s that we're going to see on this course that demand a lot of distance.
A lot of controlled distance. Long putts are key today at the Infinite Disc course. You can see we saw Jessica Weese with a long putt opportunity. If you can find the chains on those 40-footers, you will make up some strokes on the field today.
Kona putting with EMAC judges. I'm not sure if that's her normal putter or if it's because Eric McCabe himself is caddying for her and made her putt with them.
Hole 3 is a 666-foot par 5. Last year it was a par 4. This out-of-bounds sidewalk snakes along the left-hand side. It comes in really close into the landing zone, making that drive really difficult. It was a headwind here, but the right side has a lot of trees that you want to stay out of, so you really have to gauge that flat shot. Your second shot, it can get to the pin here. This is an eagleable hole for almost everybody in the field with a good tee shot, so everyone's wanting to get the max distance off the tee that they can without a big flare skip to the left. You can see Catrina pushing those right side trees. That is going to be the error we're going to see the most today. I don't know about you, but a lot of people, I think 3 out of the 4 people on my card ended up in those trees.
Yeah, I do think the wind definitely made that happen. And it's really easy to find the left side OB, and there's no out of bounds on the right. So turning something over and letting it kind of ride the hill like Kona is doing here is really ideal. That's that same Royal Grace from her.
That thing skidded way down there. Yeah. She will definitely have a look for the eagle. I love the sidearm here. It's a safe play.
But still a ton of distance with that Jessica Weese Luster Shrike.
It's even scarier because you can't see that out-of-bounds cart path that snakes on the left-hand side. It's just blind. You're just hoping you don't get that big skip off the rocky center of the fairway.
This is Missy Gannon's signature thrasher. Go ahead and support Missy. Check these things out. She's going to be ripping these ESP thrashers all day. Oh, dang. Catrina ended up in a rough spot and has to throw a sidearm up shot. The birdie still is in play, though. This is the first hole that we're going to see that the par is different for the women than the men. It's a par 4 for the men and a par 5 for us. Overall, we play the same tee pads, but our par is 4 strokes higher than the men's. It's a par 61 for us and 57 for them.
Jess having to go over the top of some trees to try to find her way to the green, but gives herself a long putt.
Yeah, she's putting.
Kona has a more open approach, but you can see the ground is extremely rocky here with small pebbles and sand, and it's very slippery. It's really hard to get those big distance drives.
But she did it.
But she doesn't.
Yeah, it's a Lucid X Trespass. The X Plastic being a little bit more stable.
Missy from the center of the fairway with a really nice looking tee shot.
Not actually at the drop zone, just next to it.
She even lands on the ball golf green that is used for the drop zone, so she has great footing, and it pays off.
Yep.
Parked for the eagle.
She throws those thrashers so well.
Catrina kind of slides into her third shot, giving herself a putt for birdie.
Jessica's a little bit farther than I thought, but let's see if she does like a floaty Anheuser putt.
There we go.
She's usually pretty good for those from long distance.
From circle 2 for eagle. She looks like she'll have a tap-in birdie.
Settle for that birdie.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a soft par here, I'd say. This played as the 18th most difficult hole on the course, a.k.a. the easiest.
Wow, great putt for eagle. Kona kind of switching up her putt, more of like a straight spin putt. She was doing more of an Anheuser putt last year.
There were 7 eagles on the day here, and that's more birdies than the birdies that there were on hole 2.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a weird statistic.
Right.
Math.
Yeah, 65% of the field with a birdie or better. That's not something we say very often.
No.
Birdie or better.
Just a tap in eagle for Missy. Whole card under par. Let's check in, see what everybody else is doing. With the calmer conditions, we're going to see a lot of people under par. The beginning of this course and the end of this course are particularly attackable for birdie. So, man, look at that.
We're supposed to have calm conditions all day. I think everyone's just feeling really good out here today. We had some gale force conditions the first couple of practice days, so it's really enjoyable to be out here, even though it was a little chilly. I think we'll see most of the top of the field staying under par throughout the whole round. This downhill par 3 is especially birdieable as well.
Yeah, even though it plays 390, it plays a lot shorter because of the downhill. That cart path is out of bounds on the right. There is a green on the left that is pretty difficult to find unless you really saw one off. Let's see it.
This was a headwind today, pretty soft, but with an overstable disc, I think we can see everyone on this card getting the distance to get a birdie. We might have to worry about going deep. We can see Kona dealing with just exactly that issue. Little right, a little deep.
And she even went down to a fairway driver to try to control it, but it looks like it kind of just flipped up the disc and it rode too far to the right.
Missy doesn't like that one out of her hand, saws it off, plays with that green, but she'll just be hanging out short on the left-hand side of the fairway. Just fully committing to the stability of this disc, trusting it to come back. Leaves it just a tiny bit short. She'll be just outside the circle, but it'll be looking like a flat putt, a death
Yeah,
putt.
exactly. On a hill at an elevated pin. Normal.
Catrina throwing at the hyzer, keeps it the whole way, and
Wow.
almost finding that bullseye.
That was a hurricane thrown really beautiful. Kona with a really tough look for a par save, and with the elevated pin, likely she's just laying up.
Smart move. No one wants to putt more than once on an elevated basket, even with just a little wind. Missy doing the same.
I think she runs it.
She's lining it up.
Man, I love when she shapes those Anheuser putts. Decent height. She keeps it close. That's what's important, too, to give it a really good run, but not blow right by it.
Another birdie opportunity for Catrina. Oof, just a little short. For how birdieable I thought this hole was, there was only 4 birdies on the day. Natalie Ryan, Emily Beach, Deanne Carey, and Ella Hansen managed to find 2s.
Yeah, it's not a gimme, but with the downhill, it's reachable by pretty much the entire field.
Oh, no.
Which, let's go back and talk about, like you mentioned, we have, I thought it was 60, but 61 competitors, which is, I mean, world's level. It's pretty amazing, and we have to thank the Disc Golf Pro Tour for everything they're doing to grow FPO.
Yep, they're putting aside spots to help the women's division grow. It's really awesome to come out here and play on cards with people I've never met before and see so many new faces competing, giving a lot of women the opportunity to tour.
The crowd was so spectacular today. Just the energy from you all was just amazing. I love you, Oregon! Focus. Get rid of any of those pressure thoughts and really center yourself, like where you're at and the shot you're throwing, trying to just really let everything besides the basket bleed away.
Everyone, check out the Disc Golf Network. That is where you can watch the action live. Check out getting a subscription to that. Thank you for joining us here on this post-produced coverage from GKPRO as well. Hole 5 is a par 3. It's 370 feet. There used to be 2 gaps, but the gap on the right is kind of closed in, leaving a sidearm or Anheuser throw for the right-handed player. Of course, we're going to see Jessica throw a sidearm. It's pretty difficult to reach this with the shot shape. It takes closer to 400 feet of power.
We know we can count on Catrina to get every bit of that distance here. The wind was favorable on this hole as well. It was just a little bit of a crosswind to help that Anheuser hold for as long as possible.
And that was her Proline Vortex. It's an understable fairway driver that Catrina worked with DGA to create. So, wow, check that out, because I guess they're pretty good.
They go far. Kona sawing off the hyzer more than she wants, leaving it kind of low, but it gets some good slides, and she'll have an outside the circle putt.
Yeah, this is kind of in that bonus birdie category. You know, you're okay with a par on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Missy Thrasher, of course.
Nice little late flip in the flight. Gets a gentle hyzer at the end. She'll have an open look.
Kona with a little bit of work left to do. She's throwing a Ricky Glow harp. That's got to be like the first disc if you switch to a Trilogy brand that you want to throw. Yeah. Everyone throws harps.
Just giving it a floaty bid like she does. Just a little short.
I think it's sat pretty close. Yeah. Missy a little low, but right there for the par. Catrina for the only birdie on the card. Count it.
1 of 6 on the day.
Moves her to 3 down through 5. Not bad.
Not bad. A lot of big arms with those birdies, just like we said.
Do you think we'll have big arms someday?
If we really work out these feathers.
We'll work out just the right one. Be really efficient.
Jess for her par. And this is one of those tweeners, longer par threes that we will see a few more of.
I think
today.
anything under 400 is fair game for a par 3.
Mm-hmm.
When it leaks over 4, I get a little grumpy.
Hole 6 is one of the signature holes on the course. It's only 294 feet, but it has this little triple island design going on. A lot of players will jump putt from island to island and take their par and get out of here. But since there's no wind today, I think we'll see a lot of the women playing a little bit more aggressive, trying to throw a putter to the second island and then either giving themselves a long putt or pitching across that third island and finding the birdie.
Very rarely do you see anyone go for the eagle on this. Jess with good distance, it looked like it was hyzering out, but it got a great anti-skip, and she is safe.
The out-of-bounds ropes on that center island were pretty forgiving this year. They're not just on the grass. They're a couple feet around the grass as well.
They also cleared out a lot of the bushes that can sometimes catch you if you're throwing a low shot. So it's definitely the easiest it's ever played.
So the penalty here is if you go out of bounds, you do have to take it from that drop zone just over Missy's right shoulder, marked by the 2 little red stakes.
Uh-oh.
That's why you don't see a lot of people going for that final island, because the risk is a little too great.
Yeah, that final island's teeny.
Mm-hmm. Missy barely ekes over, so she find her at that drop zone. She decides to just pitch across and take the bogey.
Yeah, it's smart. Take the medicine. I think this is the shortest par 4 in the world. You can prove me wrong in the comments if you've seen one shorter.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So Jess left that short, and she will have to go from the second drop zone. Missy lays it up nicely for the bogey, limits the damage. Kona going harp again, this time with a forehand.
And she'll have an easy birdie.
Catrina way up there. Just a nice pitch up. She has these beautiful floaty backhand up shots. She's using a D-line steady beadless putter for that. Ooh, that looked like a run.
I wasn't expecting that. You never know whether she's going to go forehand or backhand, but I was not expecting the forehand there.
Or hyzer and hyzer. She's got it all.
Yeah. Still gets the bogey even after missing that second island. 55% of the field today with birdie. And you will see that on the calm days, but if there is a speck of wind, you will see the scores going all over the place.
What was the bogey rate, though?
37%.
Yeah, this one's kind of a...
It's a birdie or
3
bogey.
or a 5, yeah.
Yep.
It's hard. Unless you pitch island, island, island to get the par, you're not going to see it.
Yeah, this hole can do damage on the windy days, and I'm glad that we got to see it this year in 2022 on a nice calm day.
It feels so lame to pitch up to the first island. Like, cool, that was a 35-foot shot.
Yeah. Jump putt at the ground 3 times in a row.
Hole 7 is a downhill par 3, very reachable at 358. There is an out-of-bounds cart path behind it. I don't think there's anything left or right. So the play is usually to throw it out to the right and let it skip in. There is a really low branch. I mean, I guess it's not that low, but you can see it right there. It's in your head. At least it was for me.
No, definitely. It's lower than it has been in years past significantly.
And the growth on the left side also makes it kind of tough to throw the forehand or perhaps lefty shot. So this is the main shot you're going to see.
Oh,
Super
my
well done.
gosh.
Playing with the cart path a little bit.
I think she might have yanked it to the right a little more than she wanted, but it works out because there is a lot of space on the backside of that green.
That was her hurricane again. It looks pretty stable.
Kona early releases or maybe just a little too much hyzer on it. It gets a skip to the left. She's going to be faced with either a super death putt or just laying up. I think a lot of players would just lay up here.
I think she's a little far for a putt. Just proving me wrong, taking the forehand line.
I would not have guessed.
Getting a putt. That's what I mean. She's just like such a wild card. That's why it's so fun to watch. Looks like she'll have an attempt at the birdie, and putting back uphill is the way to go. Another thrasher from Missy, and
Just a wee bit short.
Inside the circle, but it looks like she has some low branches to contend with on her putt.
Oh, I thought Kona was a little bit closer than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice
She
little
stays close.
layup, though. So easy to roll on the screen.
See, look at this. Little forehand flex run.
Jess just doing her own thing over
Yeah,
there.
it's good effort. Missy from about 40. Bit of a scary downhill putt. And you heard her say it. She fluffed it a bit. And has a little bit of a comebacker. Definitely one of those testers.
Catrina coming in from the backside of the green with a wide open putt. Finding another birdie.
Takes her to 5 down through 7. Just cruising.
Missy with a little bit of a tester putt come back for her par save.
It looks like that branch is in her way a little bit.
We got a putting world champion on our hand. There she is.
Bit of an awkward knee putt here.
Another consistency. Oh, no. Another consistency on this course is there is a lot of stuff going on inside the greens. You will have a lot of obstructed putts on this course. Lots of bushes, lots of trees, lots of low-hanging branches.
5% of the baskets are on a hill.
Uh-huh.
So something you're always thinking about is the rollaways or sailing past the basket.
Check in with the leaderboard as we get towards the end of the front 9. Natalie Ryan screaming to the top of the field with 6 down, just barely besting Paige, Catrina, and Kat. And
Natalie
Maria
is 14 holes in, so we'll see if anyone else can kind of reel her in, but definitely charging the way.
Hole 8 is a 725-foot par 5. This is one of my favorite holes on this course. It's a big hyzer shot, and you want to get as far as you can to set up your second shot. This water comes into play, and there's a little skinny fairway in between the out-of-bounds green. The out-of-bounds wraps around the backside of the basket as well, so it makes your second shot really difficult. A lot of people will just try to lay their second shot up before that green and pitch their third shot into the green for an easy par. Catrina, on the other hand, she's going to try to get as far down there as she can, and I'm sure put her second shot on the green.
She smashed that pro line torrent way down there. Gotta get those eagles, you know? I mean, I don't know, but Catrina knows.
Kona puts it out more wide to the right, a little bit more than she wants. She's going to be tucked up in the tree line all the way on the right side of the fairway. It's going to force her second shot to be more of a safe play, and she's probably going to have to be settling for the par here.
Well, not necessarily. It's a shorter shot to lay up to the green to still attack for the birdie since it's a par 5. So we'll see.
Oh, I was thinking about it as a par 4.
It used to be.
It used to be.
Missy with her thrasher again.
Really living in the
way
past.
out there. Get with the times.
Jess opting for the backhand here. Keeps it nice and low. Gets some good skips. She'll be in the middle of the fairway.
That was her Emperor. A little bit shorter than the others. And this is where, again, it's decision time. I think a lot of people are going to lay up. It does not look like Jess is, though.
She looks like she's committing to playing to the left side of the green. There is a cart path that comes out of bounds over there, but it's uphill. So I think that's a smart play to let it skip off the green and land in that open area.
It's also much wider on that side than the right side, and it, gives you some kind of a look. So definitely smart. Kona leaning on the forehand with a Fusion X Maverick.
Laying up before the green.
Nicely done. Missy going Raptor this time. Looks like, she's just laying up. She's right at that distance where you shouldn't go for it, maybe, if you're not feeling it.
But you could.
But if you're me, you just yank it so far to the right because you're feeling so strong. So that was a good choice from Missy.
Catrina playing the hyzer, which is a tough shot from where she was. That Weeping Willow on the right side of the fairway blocks the ability to throw a good hyzer shot, but she gets it down okay. She'll be left of the basket looking down in the little bowl where the basket is living.
She's somewhere around circle 2.
Mm-hmm. Kona opts for the sidearm, floats it out to the left, barely ekes over the green.
Yeah, that'll be a circle's edge putt for birdie, sorry.
Missy thought she left it a little short, but it is okay.
Oh, no. They're holding up the red.
Oh, I didn't see.
I thought it was on the fringe, too. We'll see in a second.
Jess way further down the fairway on the left-hand side, just a simple jump putt over the green for her birdie.
Yeah, that's a smart play. Leaves the last shot really short. Man, it's always rough playing a course once because you learn all these lessons and then they don't matter for a whole year. And then they change the course.
Especially when the practice round is 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts from a totally different wind direction.
Right.
Nice
A little bit of a run. Catrina parked for her birdie.
One eagle on the day for Maria Oliva. Super sick. 45% of the field with birdies.
Just a little bit left for Kona. She'll have to settle for her par.
Jess executed her game plan really well, even with that low drive, still finding the birdie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like that left side play. A year from now, I'm going to do it.
Make note.
Catrina moving to 6 down, just absolutely shredding this course.
Kona walking away with the par. And unfortunately, Missy finding the bogey as we head to the final hole of the front nine.
The drone footage is sponsored by discbarn.com. Go ahead and check them out. They're sponsoring the entire drone footage of the event for GKPRO. Hole 9 is a par 3. It is kind of one of those unreachable ones, unless you have monstrous power, which maybe Cat can get. 427, you're just throwing down a narrow fairway. There's out of bounds right and left, and also trees to the left. You're throwing from down a hill and barely over top of it. It's really difficult and challenges your angle control.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you need to throw nose up. And finishing over to the left-hand side makes the second shot a lot more difficult to get to the green. You can see Jess trying to challenge that by throwing a super steep anhyzer angle and giving it some height, but it doesn't quite flex back out.
Catrina's was pushing out of bounds too, but she stayed safe. And see, there's that hill. I think that's the way to go. If you clear the hill by 2 inches, it's a perfect shot. But obviously that can happen. And that left side is pretty rough. It leaves you pinched. They're pretty low hanging trees as well. And Missy also turning hers over, but it checks up really nice.
Yeah, it definitely did.
So this is kind of I would say the king of tweener holes on this course. It's a par 3, but it's at 427 feet. So definitely one of the more difficult holes on the course, and the stats agree it is the most difficult hole of the day.
This is hard, even for the MPO field to birdie. Just the angle, that weird hillside. It's very challenging.
It was the 3rd most difficult hole for the MPO from the same tee pad.
Mm-hmm. So far, we have a couple outside the circle looks to save par. That just needs to check up. Yeah. All right.
Little backboard action from that palm.
Catrina with a little standstill shot. That's her ice steady.
It's like way longer than it looks. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I was past that.
Yeah, it is weird making a 200-foot approach shot on a par 3.
Really makes you feel good about yourself.
Yep, we had 45% of the field with a par and 55% of the field with a bogey or worse.
Oh, yes.
Great par save from Jess.
Great scramble.
Yeah, let's watch that thing in slow motion.
I love Jess's angle control. Look at this. Slight anhyzer and starts to kind of finish its flight on a hyzer angle. It's beautiful.
And the slow-mo fist pump.
Mm-hmm.
We love that. Jess finishing out her front 9 under par. maybe leaving a couple out there. I was kind of putting the field at 4 under par for the middle of the round kind of a day, especially with these calm conditions. Oh no!
Just an inch too short. And that's kind of the first blemish we see from Catrina. Takes her to 5 under, which is still a phenomenal score on the front 9. Kona back to even with that one. Scores are still pretty tight. So much golf left.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us for the front 9 of the Las Vegas Challenge. Before we go, let's take a look at their cars and look at all that green on Catrina's front 9. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. All the colors.
Yeah, we get to see 2 eagles on the card today. It's not something you get to see every day. Love that. At the Infinite Disc course on the front 9. We still have 9 more holes left to play. So please, you guys, come back and hang out. We have a lot of action going on the leaderboard. Look at all those people under par.
And let's see if anybody can catch Natalie Ryan 8 down through 17.
Wow.
It's like Paige and Cat Merch are giving her a run for her money.
Mm-hmm. And it's really anyone's game. There's a lot of birdies left out there. Thanks to GKPRO for the awesome coverage. I hope you guys are enjoying, and we're happy to have you back. My name's Madison Walker.
And I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're your 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.